Here we are in Houston, Texas. All right, and Madison with Real Social Dynamics. And welcome to the Madison Show. Yes, indeed. Now, on today's show, what I want to talk to you about is this. Game is life and life is game. They're essentially the same thing, okay? A lot of guys even come on programs with us. We do these things called bootcamps. We take people out into the field or social environments. We teach them about social dynamics, teach them about pickup and stuff like that. A lot of people come on these programs, you'll see guys that even like have girlfriends or married. Why? They just want to learn the social aspect of it. They just want to learn about like how to make themselves a better person and how to face their fears, challenge themselves, and grow. So today's show, the subject is game is life and life is game. They're essentially the same thing. There's no difference in them, okay? So you can always learn about yourself through social dynamics and putting yourself in these weird situations. And you can learn to improve your health by the people you're around. You can learn to improve your relationship, just generally, communication. And you can also learn to improve your career with these skills. So today's show, I want to talk about how to take all this together and build this ecosystem of wellness and happiness that you can learn through pickup and how you can then use it to improve your life. At the end of today's show, as usual, there's going to be a good old class and session, homework session, so stay tuned for that. And also, subscribe to the video right now. Subscribe to this channel right now. I put a lot of work into these. And every time you subscribe, it lets me know you appreciate it. And it gives me that motivation to do more of these for you, okay? So stay tuned and let's check it out.
I can feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it, oh, I can feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it.
This question is if you're maybe seeing a girl that you like, she happens to be a pretty blonde girl perhaps, how do you continue to learn, and what is, since we're going to self-development, what are the game principles that apply to life? So I say it's this: game is life. Life is game. They're exactly the same. I even like the word game even bothers me. The word pickup artist even bothers me. Oh, he's a pickup artist. He's going around and he's mentally manipulating people to get like an outcome, to get like a desired outcome. That's like silly to me, right? I think game is this. Game is just the correct response to any emotional situation that's happening. What is the correct response to any emotional situation? So a girl's behaving a certain way. What is the healthy emotional response to her? Some people are acting up and acting up like your friends are acting up. What is the correct way to handle that? Some girls like, we have to go, Jessica. We're going home tonight. We're lesbians. What is the correct response to that? So the correct emotional response is what game is. That's all it is. The more healthy you become, the more you develop as a guy, the more, as we say in RSD, you guys have heard the man in his prime theory? Yeah, man in his prime? No? Are you guys here? You guys awake? Yeah. Have you guys heard of man in his prime or no? Yeah? No? Okay. So we have, this guy's like, I have not, sir, in the front row. I will gladly explain to you. Man in his prime is just like, let's say you guys are in your 20s right now, early 20s, mid 20s, and you're developing, right? There's so much for you to develop into as a guy. And the thing is, in our day and age, a lot of guys have like lost their role in society. There's a lot of guys that don't know who they are anymore. There's a lot of guys that don't know what they should do, and there's a lot of guys that know there's something missing, right? They can't put their finger on it, but they know that there's something missing. And I think a lot of that happens because, back in the day, if you were 18 years old, you would have been listening to what? Military. You'd be off in Vietnam, probably some of your fathers or your uncles or grandfathers, Vietnam. You'd have been in the military. You would have been, Pearl Harbor. You would have liked something, right? But now it's like, well, I've got a high score in StarCraft, and you know what I mean? It's like, where are guys? How do guys fit in today's society? I think we've lost their place a little bit. So it's really tough because as guys, it's like if you told some of your girlfriends right now, you're like, I went to a seminar today, and there was a black guy with sunglasses, and he was talking about how guys have to learn how to talk to women. They were like, what? What's wrong with you? Are you retarded? You have to learn to talk to women. Just be yourself, bro. Or no, sorry. That's what guys would say. Your bro friends would be like, just be yourself, bro. And then the friends that you have that are girls, if you have friends that are girls, I don't know, I didn't. If you don't, it's okay. I didn't have friends that were girls, I didn't at all. But if you had friends that were girls, they'd be like, oh, just be yourself. Why can't you just be yourself? Be yourself. Go up to girls and just be yourself and let them choose you. Like, I was myself and it sucked. I was myself and they hated me. That's why I'm here. So guys, it's hard for us to find our place in society and figure out like where we fit in and how we develop. So the man in his prime is just a guy who's like learning about who he is, learning about what he likes as he's progressing in life, learning about what are his values, learning about what does he stand for, right? What do you care about? What do you want out of life? What do you stand for? What do you want to see happen with yourself? What do you want to see happen in the world? What do you want to see, like, who do you want to be in 5 years, right? Thinking about all that stuff on a daily basis, and that's what a man in his prime is. I should probably think about how I thought about that. Yeah, so even for me, right? In RSD, why did I choose to be up here? Well, I had a really good job in marketing. I used to work in digital strategy. Up in Canada, probably one of the best in e-commerce in Canada at doing this, right? And then one day I got a call from Tyler. He's like, hey, dude, you should just like, he's like, hey, dude, you should just come and hang out like in Chicago. I was like, no pressure, man. Just come and hang out, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. And I never really talked to Tyler before. You guys are like, fuck, if I got a call from Tyler, I'd like be there in a second. For me, it's like, I wasn't really sure. And then like, he called me 3 days in a row. Like three times a day, 3 days in a row. And I was like, damn, I guess he's kind of serious, right? And then I decided to start touring with RSD. And the only reason I did it, the only reason I left like my crazy, like amazing job that I had to come being with RSD is I wanted to like, it's like personal things I'm sharing here. I decided to like I wanted to like make an impression on the world, right? As a guy is the most happiest when he's creating, when he's like making, you ever hear that? Like the creator versus the creation. Like if you try to attach onto creations, you'll always be sad. You'll always be unhappy. It's like, I want the car. Like the car validates me. I want the girl. The girl validates me. I want I want the status. The status that validates me. As all that will always slip away. As a guy, we are the most happy when we're creating. We're making things happen in the world. We're like actively being artists of our lives. I like that. Artists of our lives. Somebody just made that up. We're actively being artists of our lives. That is when we are the most happy. So a man in his prime is always creating. He's always creating, always figuring out what he can add to the world. For me, it was like, I want to work with RSD because I want to like leave an impression for future generations. I want to like leave an impression that like lasts way after I'm dead, way after I'm gone, that like impacts the world. All that like Nelson Mandela bullshit, all that Nelson Mandela bullshit. I make a joke out of it just to lighten it up because it's a really serious topic to me, But I just try to lighten it up and kind of make it lighthearted. So as a guy, maybe you're in your early 20s, you're not thinking about that stuff yet, right? That's fine. Maybe you're just like, shit, I just want to get out of school. I just want to like get out of this like Starbucks job, or I just want to like stop flicking burgers. Like whatever it is as a guy, that's what you're thinking about right now. In the future, as you develop, you got to start thinking about what is it then that I want to do? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? That's the man in his prime. So long-winded answer to you, sir. In RSD, we're really going towards the self-development. Are you guys subscribed to like Julian's channel, like Julian himself, his new personal development one? Yeah, okay, so like half the people in the room, cool. So Julian, he's like, since his media fiasco last year, he's really made an effort, like a conscious effort to say, okay, everything I was doing, I was just like doing it for stimulation. How do I want to leave a better impact on the world? How do I want to make a difference in the world? And that's what he's thinking about now. So RSD is going a lot in that direction. Let me take a sip of my kombucha. Goodness. Yeah, one more thing of the RSD called kombucha. So we're going that direction. And I think it's appropriate because the world's eventually, like everything is going to lead to that. Like a lot of guys get into the game and they're thinking, like you have small goals, okay? So you get into the game, you're like, I am in game, or I learned pickup. You typed in probably like how to get a girlfriend, or you typed in like my ex broke up with me, or something into YouTube, or you read the book The Game, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna like systematically have sex with as many women as we can to like hide our demons. Like you're not thinking about it at that moment. You're like, yeah, I just want to like get revenge. This girl named Sarah, or it's always Sarah. Like I say Shaniqua. This girl named Shaniqua, fucking Shaniqua and Shanae and Lakeisha. They fucking broke my heart. All that bullshit in school. I brought her a flower. She didn't even fucking care about me. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Fuck this. I'm gonna get back at everybody. She's like, I'm gonna learn the game. I'm gonna get them. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get them all. I'm gonna fuck them all. Yeah, right? So you guys, it's funny because you guys are actually laughing at it, but that's like a laugh of familiarity, right? Because at one point you felt that way. At one point you're like, you had anger. You had anger inside of you. And then we call it like the path of mastery or path of self-discovery. So you come full circle. So at first you're like angry at the world. You want to fuck everybody over. Then you learn, first you're hurt, actually you're hurt. And you're like traumatized, you're like wounded child. You're a wounded child, right? Then like you learn game, you want to give everybody back. And then you actually maybe 6 months into it or a year into it, you meet a girl that you actually like. You're like, oh shit, I actually like this one. What is this weird thing happening inside of my body? Is it an emotion? I don't know what this feeling is. I'm an ice cold killer. I'm an ice cold pimp. What is this thing? Oh, I don't like it. Get it off of me. Get it off of me. Yuck. It's like a feeling, right? Like, get this feeling off of me. And you're like, and you're like, I think I like you. I want to like, and you know you like a girl, and you're like, I think I want to talk to her for no reason. And there's no sex involved. I just want to talk to her. You guys ever had that? No? You guys like, fuck, how do I talk to anybody? I know I like a girl, and I'm just like randomly calling her. I'm like, the phone's ringing. Why am I calling her? Like, I don't even know why. I'm like, surprised. Like, I guess I want to talk to her. I guess I want to hear her voice. I guess I want to like find out how she's doing today. I guess I want to find out like, you know, what she's going through, talk to her about school. Oh, you got that exam? That's really cool. Oh, your father is being a jerk. Oh, he doesn't understand. Like whatever it is, right? You want to talk to her about all these things, yeah? And that's amazing. So you go through that phase, you get a girl, you like a girl, and then eventually like you get to the phase where she breaks your heart and you're like, damn it, I knew it. I shouldn't have like gone soft. I should have gone soft. Why get in a relationship and she's gonna break your heart, et cetera, et cetera. I actually just got out of a relationship right now. And I think my girlfriend broke up with me. Yeah. Even at this level, it could happen. Yeah. You guys are like, look hopeless. You guys are like, fuck, why am I here? Shit. Yeah. So my girlfriend, who is probably watching this video right now, my girlfriend who broke up with me, she broke up with me because I wasn't giving her enough attention. Like I'm like literally, as an RSD instructor, we travel the world. We're like in a different city every single week. We're in Austin today. We're in Houston tomorrow. Then we're going back to LA. Then it's like, you know, Miami a little later on. So I'm doing a 30 city tour in 2016, 30 cities. So I'm really bad at returning phone calls. Really, really bad. Even my mom, I'm really bad at returning phone calls. I was outside in the hallway, like FaceTiming my mom. I'm like, hi mom, I still know you're here. I know you still exist, right? I'm so horrible at that. So my girlfriend broke up with me. But back in the day, if my girlfriend broke up with me, I'd be like, fuck it, fuck this shit. Like kick the light, like, this is bullshit. Fuck this shit, this is bull. Like just mad, right? Just like pissed off and thinking like, oh, I knew it. She must be cheating on me. The world, like just mad at girls, mad at life. But now my feeling about it is more healthy. Now it's like, oh, she broke up with me. Yeah, you know, I did a bad job. I was a shitty boyfriend. Yeah, I guess I could see that happening. Oh well, I don't think she's gonna find anything better. You're not gonna find anything better. Oh well, so I should like go right up to the camera and I was like, yeah, you're not gonna fucking find anything better. You had your fucking chance. I use the stage in my therapy. So she's probably gonna find anything better. She's moved on, but I'm not angry at her. I'm not like pissed off at her. I'm not angry at her. I don't feel like, you know, like she did me wrong, right? So the more you go through this cycle of like hating the world, learning game, meeting a girl you like, breaking up, hating the world, learning more game, fixing your game, meeting a girl you like, breaking up. The more you go through this cycle, one of two things can happen to you as a guy, okay? One of two things can happen to you. Either you just like become dark, fucking dark. Like you become like Kylo Ren. That's Star Wars. Yeah. Were you asking him who Kylo Ren was? Because you weren't sure who that was? It's Star Wars. It's okay. Yeah, it's a guy. It's a girl thing too. It's like really nerdy. I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I'll bust the nerd references every once in a while. She knows. She knows who it was. Okay, awesome. Kylo Ren, Star Wars. That's the guy who's like the replacement of Darth Vader. Okay, so either you get really, really dark at game and you become like Kylo Ren. You're just like pissed off at the world and like you have anger inside, and that happens a lot to dudes. I see that all the time. Guys are like, the dark side of the game on like the forums, like the dark side of the game. It's so dark. I don't even know what I want anymore. All these girls. I went out last night and a girl said she had a husband and she made out with me. Oh, they're all sluts. The dark side of the game. What's the meaning to all this? What's the meaning to all this? And they're all like just fucking like, they get like this or just like eventually like, what's the meaning to all this? Dark side of the game, you know? So you don't want it to happen to you because that could happen. And that basically happens to guys when they start getting the validation from girls externally, which actually leads me to my first point, right? They get validation from girls externally. So a lot of you guys think you're into game or into pickup because you want a girl. That's actually, before I say that, how many guys are here because they just want to like have as much sex as possible? Like straight up, just like, listen, I don't care if she's cute or not. I'm just not having enough sex right now. I just want to have as much sex as possible. That's a serious question because there's guys like that. Like Jeffy's a guy like that. Jeffy's just like, I just want to have as much sex as possible, like daily. I could be like that too. If I don't have sex every 3 days, I have to get a headache, like a physical migraine. I'm not even joking. I can't concentrate, you know? But I also have other requirements. But I'm actually like that. Okay, so like, I think like 10% of the audience put up their hands, right? Like we got like 80 people in here, like 8 guys went up their hands. Okay, cool. Fair enough. So there's guys like that. And then those guys will get the pickup and they'll learn pickup and they're just getting the result, right? But then maybe sometimes there's guys who get into pickup because they want more and they don't even know they want more. The average guy gets into this thinking, he's like, I just want to get sex, right? But then he's like, oh, what's this all mean? What is this all, like, why am I doing this? Like, it's just like another day, another hole, right? Like another day, when I'm doing this, it's kind of more funnier. Another day, another hole, right? Like, what you realize is that you're actually looking for fulfillment in validation from women. Let that sink in. Yeah, that's when I dropped the mic moment. You're actually probably looking for fulfillment in validation from women. All right? Which means that you're looking for external happiness. You're looking towards girls to tell you that you can be okay with yourself. So it's like, if I get that hot chick, I'll know that I can be okay with myself. If I just have as much sex as possible, I'll know that I can be okay with myself. If I get that girl from high school that shut me down, damn it, I know that she was wrong. She was wrong, and she was wrong. Do you guys have a lot of that in Texas? Like, oh, Lord Jesus God, oh, she was wrong. I picture that in Texas a lot. So she'll know that she was wrong, and like I can feel good about myself. Somebody in the front row made a sound effect, and I just felt the need to do that after that. So. You'd be like, oh, this guy's like making sex sounds in the front. Everybody climax together. The audience is one big clitoris. What am I saying? So that's why you get into the game originally. But then you realize that doesn't fulfill you. A lot of guys will take, let's say, for example, you probably couldn't. I've dated a couple celebrities. Sam's dated a couple celebrities as well. I've dated a lot of international models, girls that model. And the number one requirement it takes like to be a friend of one of these girls is to not like take a selfie with them and post it on social media. That's like the number one requirement. Do you know why? Does that make sense, by the way? Yeah. Makes sense? It says nods, yeah. So why do you think that is? Why is the number one requirement to date a celebrity or to date a model to not post it on social media? Shout it out. Validation. What does that mean? That's a word, but what does it mean? In your own words.
That's showing that you want everybody to see how cool you are because you have a hot girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Like letting everybody know that you are the shit because you are dating a girl who is the shit, right? It's like, imagine, I'm from Barbados, my nationality is Barbados, so imagine Rihanna, right? Imagine Rihanna came in here, she's like, hey, why? She's like, hey boy, I think you're cute now, but listen, I want to go on a date with you, but you can't post it to the Facebook. Lord of mercy, right? if she was like, you're like, well, it's Rihanna. I really want to go on a date with her, but fuck it. All right, damn. You know? So you go, Rihanna, she's like loving you up, buying you drinks. She's like, I don't know, blowing you in the bathroom, whatever Rihanna does. And then you just like can't help it. You're just like, it's like, no. She sees you, you're busted. She's like, no, boy, I wanted to love you, but you posted a photo of me in bed so I can no longer talk to you because of the paparazzi. Lord of mercy, right? So then she'd be like, damn, it'd be over. Like, you and Rihanna would be like finished, like done. You and Ray, and she's back to Drake, and it's like done, right? It's a true story. It happened to me. Just kidding. Fucking around. That fucking guy in Canada is done. And it happens because you want to get that validation from the photo or the celebrity. That's so hard. Like in our minds, like, oh yeah, it's easy to just get off of that. But it's actually super, super hard to get off of that validation. We're stuck on it. We're like conditioned for it. Like even like everything we have, it's like, okay, I'll wear these boots are like whatever, but like I'll wear these boots because they have the stamp of approval from society. They have the social conditioning stamp of approval from society. The Michael Kors watch. Look at this, it's a beautiful gold Michael Kors watch. Stamp of approval from society. Everything you have gives you the stamp of approval, so then you can then feel good about yourself. Now, I have a crazy idea. What if like everything in consumerism, like all these like companies that were out there said, hey, you know what? You're good enough already. You don't need our stuff. If you want to buy it, it's cool. Like sales, like the economy would just like collapse. We'd have like a depression, right? If society told us like, you don't need anything. You're fine as you are. You're good as you are. You don't need anything. That would be amazing. There's actually a quote I like for that. It kind of developed in my mind. It's a version of what Max says. You guys know Max? Version of what Max says and a version of like a song by John Legend. I was like, put them together in a happy place. So the Max says, I'm imperfect and I'm perfectly fine with that. That's what Max says. And then there's a song by John Legend that says, perfect imperfections. So what if you could be okay with the fact that you're imperfect? What if you could be okay with the fact that imperfect is enough? You wouldn't have that judgment. You wouldn't have that persona you have to put on. So in game, we say there's three types of fatigue, okay? And there's always two. The main two ones are persona fatigue and judgment fatigue. Your mind is always going to get tired because you're trying to keep up a persona, like to the outside world, like trying to like manage how they think of you. And that's where validation comes in game. Because guys are like, oh, if people see me with the girl, I'll feel good about myself, right? They'll think well of me. I'll be accepted by society. And then there's also like the judgment fatigue, where you're judging yourself, like, oh, that approach was bad. Oh, I should have went for it faster. Oh, like judge. You're just like stomping like on yourself, right? Pushing yourself down. So that's judgment fatigue. And that happens also when you're getting a girl. You're like, oh, now I'm okay with myself. Now I'm cool. Now I'm awesome. Now I love myself because I have that girl now. So now I have the stamp of approval. I can pat myself on the back. So validation is a killer. It's a killer. So this is a very long answer to your question, I know. He's like, what was my question? He's like got like a long white beard now. So one of the amazing things about game is that if you go through this process of like liking a girl, hurting, breaking up with her, hurting, liking a girl, learning game, all this whole cycle, it gets you off of the needle of validation. That heroin needle of validation in your arm, it gets you off of that. So you don't need that validation anymore. You get off that drug of validation. Validation is a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing. It'll fuck you up so much. Even as a public speaker, I'm still doing this. Even as a public speaker, I can't be up here wanting validation. If I'm like, okay, does the audience think I'm cool? I don't know. Nobody's responding. He's his fingers like this. He's thinking about it. He's not sure. Okay, they have their hands on their chin. They're not sure. He's wiping his nose. Okay, he brought a girl with him. The girl's gonna be judging me. I better look cool, or else he's not hooking up with her tonight. I started like, if I started doing all that stuff to myself, I would like it would just weigh me down, right? That need for validation is so strong. So the more you go through game, the more you learn, meet girls you like, break up with them, meet girls you like, it doesn't work out, meet girls you like, stay with them. The more you go through that, you learn that validation is not important. It gets you off of that drug of validation. And that drug of validation is so strong. Like, it's everywhere. Like, you have these girls, like, have you seen, like, has anybody went on Instagram lately? It's crazy. It's crazy. I have a video right now. A girl, she came over to the house, like 2 million followers, and like, it's just like photos of her ass. Like ass, everybody. Like it's like just ass everywhere on her Instagram. And it's like I paused for a minute, I'm like, this girl has a father. Like somewhere in the world, this girl has a father, and like she's gonna find his social media account. He's like, no, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Right? It's gonna fuck him up because this girl's just like, the validation is so strong. She probably like has aspirations. She probably has things she wants to do in her life. She can't even like. As a guy, you're lucky. As a guy, you're lucky. Even if you're an unattractive guy, you're even more lucky. Like I'm like a 7, okay? I said this in a video before. I have like this weird like jacked up like tooth. Like I don't know if you guys can see, it's really bad. It's like this weird like crooked tooth, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, you're fucked, bro. You're fucked. Yeah. It's on here and here. I have like really skinny wrists. My wrists are as big as a girl's wrist. Like honestly, let's see your wrist. Put your wrist up. Let's see. Look at this. Her wrists are bigger than mine. She has bigger forearms than mine. Okay. That means she can probably like pick up a heavier telephone than I can. Okay? Like that's how pathetic I am physically as like a human specimen, okay? So I had to do what? Work on my personality. I had to work on my personality over and over again in order to like get that validation. I can't get validation from looks. I had to get validation from like putting myself out there and challenging myself, overcoming fears and all that kind of stuff. But as a lot of hot girls, man, they're stuck in this validation loop. It's like the validation is crazy. It's crazy. You guys know what a sponsor is? You ever hear that term? A sponsor basically is like a guy who, you're like, I've never heard of that. I need to become a sponsor. A sponsor is a guy who hits up a hot girl and just like offers to fly her to Miami. It's like a round trip, like $500 Miami, like come stay with him. Like, we'll take photos on the beach or whatever. Like he's like practicing his photography. That's like a sponsor. He's like, oh, we'll do this together. And the girl will go with him because she's like, fuck it. She's like, fuck it. I haven't had a cool experience like that. This guy seems to be really into me. I have nothing else planned. It seems like a cool activity. Why won't I go? There's no downside to it, right? She's like, well, he seems pretty cool. He has a good time. Why am I going to say no? Like, why would a girl say no to that? It's so hard for her to say no to that. It's amazing, too, because as a guy, we're like, oh, these girls are sluts. Like, you see these girls on Instagram, you're like, oh, she's just a slut, like an Instagram slut. It's like, no, she probably said no to 99 guys and said one to yes. You know how hard it is for a girl to say no to every guy? Like, daily, like, guys are hitting her up and trying to, like, hook up with her. Since a girl, it's like that Chris Rock skit. Since a girl turned 14, every guy's been trying to have sex with her. Do you guys know the skit? Yeah, just hands really quick if you know the skit. Okay, so I'll explain to the guys that don't know it. So Chris Rock has this skit on this, I think it's like Bigger and Blacker. He's like, man, every day since the girls turned 14, the guys been trying to fuck her. Even her uncle. Every single girl. Every girl. He's like, you know, when a guy opens the door, he's saying, how about some dick? When a guy's like buying her a cheeseburger, he's like, how about $5.95 a dick? Right? That's like the joke, right? Chris Rock. So every guy's trying to get with her, and she's somehow said no to 99% of the guys. Like 1% of the guys she says yes to. It's like, oh, slut. It's like that's not fair, right? But the point I'm making is validation is so available to women. It's crazy. As guys, it's not as available to us. So we're thinking, I'm gonna fuck this girl, I'm gonna get these girls, I'm gonna be a pimp, I'm gonna be a player, I'm gonna get these girls, I'm gonna have so much validation. But it's like, nah, man, that thing eventually erodes you. Because the thing about validation is that it's low vibrational energy. We talk about this a lot in RSD. Low vibrational energy. So low vibration and high vibration, okay? The difference of low vibration is you're making a decision in your life based on fear, worry, concern, need, validation, okay? Those are decisions you make based on low vibration. A high vibration decision is a decision you make based on collaboration. Is it good for everybody involved? Do we win-win? Is saying no showing love? Like things like that. It's like a higher vibration, right? So showing your ass on Instagram, it's not the most high vibration, right? It's like selling your appearance or body for the validation or the imagination of a man to wish he had you that you don't want. It's a whole like clusterfuck of like things happening there. Okay, I'm not gonna. Also, at the same time too, I'm not judging anybody that does it, because if I was a hot girl, listen, if any of you guys were hot girls, you'd be selling that pussy. Let's be real, right? If you guys were hot girls right now, you're like, I could either get a job or like go to school and like struggle all my life and maybe not make it because I'm not that smart. Like maybe like there's people that are smarter than me academically, or do I want to like just take a picture of my ass and get like a new PS2, like or PS3 or whatever the fuck it is now? I don't even know. I'm out of touch with society. All I do is game now. So, like you guys are like PS2. I've like offended my core audience now. They're like, they no longer believe in me. PS2. So it's like, would you rather do that for the validate, like and work and struggle and like sleepless nights and all that shit, or just like do the easy route? It's like water going down the stream. As human beings, we just naturally want to go where the easiest route is, or they call it a cow path. Cows just naturally like walk on a straight line, and wherever like is the less bumpy road, they'll kind of go there, and all the other cows will go that way. It's just group dynamics, right? So you can never judge these girls either. But as guys, we have this crazy opportunity through learning pickup, through learning game, to detach that validation needle from our arm. We could like poof, pop it out and be like, oh, I want to get off validation and get on self-esteem, which is a way better drug, self-esteem. All right, I'll talk about that in a second. As I sip this kombucha.
Kombucha.
Kombucha. Let's go put it like that. Bing. Bing. So kombucha, sorry, I was going to say kombucha. Like, no, kombucha, yeah. So as a guy, you learn game, you have to get off that cycle of validation, because you're going to start to get on the cycle of self-esteem, which is totally different. Self-esteem is where you're doing things because you want to express yourself. So my joy being here is not like I'll appreciate like the high fives and the handshakes and the pictures and all that. My joy being here is the expression, the giving, the expression. As I said before, as dudes, we're the most happy when we're being the creator or the creation. The creator. The creator is what we're most happy about. Being the active creator, giving out, expression, sharing our personalities with the world. All right, so game is as Sam mentioned before, he's saying game is learning how to express yourself all the time, right? He said a really great analogy. I think he said there's who you are around people you don't know, then there's who you are around your friends, and then there's who you are when you're alone in your house doing the helicopter dick, right? I've done it a few times, not gonna lie. So it's like you want to be that same person who you are alone doing the helicopter dick minus the helicopter dick. You want to be that same person though, right? That same putting yourself out there, just enjoying the moment, living the moment, not judging what comes out of your mouth too much next. You know, even right now, as on stage right now, I have some general ideas of what I want to say, but I'm not overthinking it. I'm not like, what am I going to say in 30 seconds from now? What am I going to say in 5 minutes from now? I don't know. I'm just loving every single word that comes out of my mouth. That's what game is, like loving everything you're doing in the moment. It's kind of like air guitar. It's like, there's no fucking guitar. We're just loving it, right? You're just enjoying the moment. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Game teaches you how to get off that drug of self-validation, or even validation from the world. Now, the other thing that game also teaches you to do, if you're in a relationship or you have a girlfriend, is it teaches you how to face your fears. How to face your fears. Learning game teaches you, like, let's say you go out and you do a lot of pickup, you write down field reports. That's where you write down every single night, your best sets of the night, your worst interactions of the night, what you learn from other people, stuff like that. You write this down. And reviewing your night over and over forces you to be real with yourself. It forces you to look at your life and say, okay, I had a good night, I had a bad night, had a good night, bad night. I see a pattern here. What's happening in my life? What are things that I did well consistently? What are things I'm fucking up consistently? Oh, I've been fucking up on this thing for a week. Maybe I should improve that. Maybe I should do better on that, right? That's what writing field reports does. It helps you to see your night from the night you experienced it. You see it through the another perspective when you write it down, and you see your night a third time when you read it back again, right? You're seeing your night 3 times over. Field reports help you to do that. But what's the ultimate goal here? The ultimate goal is you're being realistic with yourself. The ultimate goal is you're saying, this is what I have to deal with it. Now you have a choice. This is the hard choice. Do I fix it, or do I just like pretend it didn't happen? Am I like, oh yeah, I'll fix this thing that I'm fucking up at, or like, oh, I'll just like write it off and pretend it didn't happen. It's very, very easy to fall into the trap of knowing what your shortcomings are, but not facing them. So what's one of my shortcomings? One of my shortcomings would be, I'm on the road right now. I eat in a restaurant every day. Like me and Sam, we talk about this, like we barely cook. We cook like never almost, because we're like at home in LA for 3 days. Oh, off to Houston. At home in LA for 3 days. Oh, off to San Diego. At home in LA for 3 days. Oh, we're off in Atlanta, wherever we were, right? So I'm so bad responsibly, financially. I'm way over my eating out budget. Way over my eating out. My eating out budget is like, I'm probably at like, let's say 2 meals a day. That's like $30 to $40 a day to eating out. I'm probably spending like $1,000, like, dude, I don't even know. Like, what do you think? $700 a month eating out? Probably. I don't even know. Like, I can't even keep count. I'm not even tracking it. You guys see that? It's like, how much am I overeating out? I don't know. Like, I'm not even tracking it. Because why am I not tracking it?
Write it off.
So you guys know what that means? Like, I'm not tracking it because it'd be easier to not be accountable of it. Like to sit down and be like, well, this day you ate too much, and like putting out like a budget, and like responsibly, like getting my friends to manage it for eating out, like that would be horrible. Like I don't want to go through the pain of the reality. I don't want to face the facts. So practicing pickup allows you to face your fears consistently. You get in the habit of facing your fears and being realistic about what you need to improve. That applies to every area of life, okay? So not just game, that applies to the areas of your business, that applies to relationships, that applies to family, like am I actually calling my mother when I said I would, right? That applies to just getting your house in order, getting shit in your life in order. There's this old Under Armour commercial, it's pretty dope, where it's like, we must protect this house. We must protect this house. That's like just saying, I'm gonna get my life in order. I'm gonna get my shit together. Right? So pickup teaches you to do that. Even outside of pickup, it's a skill that transfers to other areas. So that's 2 so far. Bam, longest answer ever. 3, pickup teaches you to be okay with the unknown. All right? Teaches you to be okay with the unknown. Okay with the unknown. When you walk up to the girl and you're about to say hello, or you've seen too many Julian videos and you're about to be like, dog, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. All right? It's like, whoa. Whoa. Actually, that's why guys like the Julian, like the old school Julian stuff, because they think like they're gonna get the response. See, like even to use that is like, to use those kind of conversational openers is because you're trying to get to certainty, right? You're trying to predict the response. Like I say, Julian did this, so I saw this, so if I do it, I'll get the same response. It's like to avoid uncertainty, right? But in reality, he's just doing it because he likes to troll life. He's like to fuck around with everything. Like I'm actually like, he likes to fuck around a lot. I was gonna think of a story, but I shouldn't say that one. So he likes to fuck around a lot, right? Huh? I'll tell a more PG-13 version, a different version of one. So basically like, I was out at the bar, and like, I'm really close friends with one of Julian's family members, and he's like at the bar with his girlfriend. He's like, tell him how my family member did this to you. I'm like, oh, did it happen? He's like, oh, tell him how this, you just like to make up bullshit, basically, right? So he does that, but he doesn't do it for the reaction. He doesn't do it for the need to have to avoid uncertainty, right? So a lot of guys when they're in game, they're learning game because they want to have that certainty. But the truth is, when you walk up to the girl, you don't know what to say, and you just kind of like walk forward and deal with it as it happens. Then you're actually putting yourself on the line. You're getting the habit of putting yourself on the line. So to gain core confidence is 2 things. Guys are like, how do I develop core confidence? How to develop core confidence? There's only 2 ways to do it, in my opinion, that I've learned in like all of my 9 years, okay? So the only two ways to develop core confidence is this. Buy a Mercedes, get a dick enlargement. That's not it. It's this. Put your core personality out there and then be rewarded for your core personality. That's it. That's the only two ways I've discovered to get core confidence. Put your real self out there, risk it, and getting rewarded for that, okay? Those are the only two ways. Those are the only two ways that I found it. And it's crazy because a lot of guys are scared to do that. Like, well, I put my personality out there before and I sucked and everybody rejected me. Well, do it again. What? Do it again. What? Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it. I put my core personality out there probably like, literally like in approaches, probably like 9,000 approaches or 10,000 approaches by now, probably, right? I put my core personality out there. But I got rewarded enough times for it that I remember the rewarding that I got from it, like the rewards that I got, like people accepted me, had a good time, had a great night, met some cool people, like, you know, enjoyed myself, patted myself on the back, right? Throw it off the shoulder. I've had enough of that happen, and I'm like, okay, if you put your core personality out there, sometimes people will reward you. It sticks in my brain. I forget the times it doesn't work out. And we have a friend here in RSD named Derek, and Derek has an analogy too. He says, people are afraid to, I'm paraphrasing here, so people are afraid to take a risk. But if you want an unreasonable reward, you have to take an unreasonable risk. Does that make sense? Like you can't play the safe route and get like the amazing reward, the unreasonable reward. You have to play the risky route and get the risky or unreasonable reward from that. Okay? So it's like there's these dudes who are like, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna wait until I meet somebody in my social circle, and I'm going to then I'll talk to her, and maybe if she throws me this enough signs, I'll maybe ask to like have a drink with her and another buddy. Then eventually I'll drop that buddy. Then we'll go out on a date. Like, no. You're never gonna get like the model from that. Like, you're never gonna get like this. Like, if you want models, right? You're never gonna get like that amazing girl. You're gonna get that stunner. You're never gonna get that girl who's studying to be like a cardiovascular surgeon. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna happen that way. It's gonna happen from like putting yourself out there and taking that risk. Myself. I'm typically known in RSD like for being that guy that like can go out pretty much any night and like get a 10 or a 9. Like if I have a full night to myself, I can basically go out to a club. You know, I'm very lucky to be able to do this. But I can go to a club, meet a girl who's like a model, and like pretty much like go hang out with her later on that night, like pretty much any night of the week. So I'm happy about that. It was not easy. It took a long time to get to there, but that only happened from like taking a huge risk. Always like taking a huge risk. So like I go up to them and I talk to them and they can see like I'm being that helicopter dick guy. I'd be the guy that's like who's himself, completely himself, putting it out there for them to see, and I'm like straight in. I'm not like, oh well, gee, do you have the time? Oh, like I'm not like pussyfooting and dicking around. I'm like straight to it, bam, like that's it, straight up. And they can see that and they appreciate, oh, here's a guy who's putting himself on the line 100%. But he's also not filtering, and he's also okay with taking a risk. He's like himself on the line, not filtering, taking a risk. And all that in combination just like makes it open up. Like I have a lot of the boot camp students I go out with, they're like, dude, I saw you. It's like you walk up to girls and it's like they open before you get there. Like it's like your vibe opens them, like your energy opens them before you get there. And that's what I'm trying to do all the time. That only happens from being okay with uncertainty. That's the point here. Being okay with that foundation of uncertainty. Being okay with if something doesn't work out the way you thought it would originally, and putting yourself out there and risking that. So what do we talk about? See, risk, uncertainty. We talked about validation. We talked about looking yourself in the mirror honestly. I think game also teaches you to be okay with what others think of you. Being okay with what others think of you, getting okay with it. There's a lot of guys in the forum, they're like, well, I'm studying this pickup stuff and my friends aren't really into it. I'm like, hey, I want to come to this free tour and I want to bring my friend, but I don't know if he'd like it. Actually, I'm curious about that. How many guys are here with a friend that they brought with them? Can you just show of hands? Oh, sweet. So like 20% of the audience. Okay, cool. 20% of the audience came with somebody and they brought a friend. That's dope. It means your friend cares about you, by the way. And if you're a girl and you're with a guy, it means the guy actually wanted to like involve you enough in his life to like learn about who he is that he wanted to like share this with you. That's actually really dope. Because a lot of guys don't do that. Get you action tonight. I'm on your team. I got you. High five. If you brought somebody here, it's like you wanted to share that with them. But a lot of times it's like, as you're learning this, you're afraid to put yourself out there and share what you're learning amongst people, because you're like, okay, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna judge me. They're gonna judge me. And it's so hard to get out of that cycle. What you could do if you want to like bring a friend into this, there's a few ways to do it. Don't start with the hardcore stuff. Start with like Tyler's Truth About Success. The Truth About Success video. That's a great video. It shows like, it shows what is success. It shows what is social conditioning. It's a great kind of like general video that talks about life, right? With RSD is also an opportunity to talk about spirituality. There's videos about that. There's videos about being a man in his prime. Those are great videos to kind of introduce a friend to this if you want to like have them to know about it, because it's not so much of an unplug from groupthink. It's still like relative to what everybody else is thinking. So it's a great way to start. But it's very hard because you're afraid that these people are going to judge you. They're going to judge you. They're going to judge you. And I had a friend too that judged me hardcore, man. I had this friend, I won't say his name, this is like 7 years ago, I got in the pickup and he actually dropped me. Like he hardcore dropped me. He's like, why is Madison studying his pickup shit? Why is he reading the game? He had a girlfriend he lived with too and he was very happy with her. He's like, what is this game? What is this pickup shit? It's stupid. I'm like, whoa, he dropped me. I was like, yo, we'll call him Dan, right? I'm like, yo, this is my friend Frank. I'm like, yo, why is Dan not talking to me anymore? And Frank is like, yo, because Dan thinks you're in a pickup and it's stupid. I'm like, yo, he didn't even tell me himself? He couldn't even tell me himself? We've been friends for like 5 years, 6 years, he couldn't tell me himself? Nah. So then later on down the road, right, I had to risk that alienation. I risked it a little bit. Now, if you come like from a very traditional family, maybe your family like could be Eastern European, or maybe your family could be Arabic, or your family could be South American, Colombian, whatever, and they have more like traditional values, it's understandable that this doesn't fit with them, right? The way they see the world is different. And you gotta understand also everybody sees the world differently. Respect their views of the world, right? Everybody I respect completely. Even when I go up to a girl in the street and she's like, fuck off, I'm like, I'm like, ouch, that hurts, like my wounded child. I'm like, oh, well, she has a different experience of the world. Maybe she's going through things, maybe she sees life differently. That's cool, I respect that, right? I just appreciate that. So not everybody's gonna be into pickup and game or understand what we're talking about here, but at least you can appreciate like that they don't. You can appreciate that they have their own way of seeing the world, and that's cool. I just try to understand that. But, so, everybody has a different way of seeing the world, but you can still kind of introduce them to this stuff slowly. So my friend, he dropped me and he totally didn't like want to talk to me anymore. And then what happened? 5 years later, his girlfriend and him broke up. They sold the house. He was not knowing what to do back on the market, right? Like at least as a guy, I've been able to look through pickup. It's like, well, my girlfriend broke up with me 45 days ago, but I'll probably have a new girlfriend in 4 months. Like, if I date a lot of girls, I go out a lot, I meet a couple of girls I like, a couple of girls I don't like, I feel that out. I'll probably have a new girlfriend in like maybe 6 months from now, right? I think at this point, it's like 4 times a year, I meet a girl I really like. I'm just like, wow, like, where have you been? And she's like, where the fuck have you been? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. She's like, yeah, let's go. Like, happens like 4 times a year. It's like lightning strikes. It's like magic, And sometimes when it happens and it doesn't work out, I'm not mad either. So that happens like 4 times a year, right? I'll probably have a girlfriend in a couple weeks, a couple months. And I'm very fortunate to have that because I was able to subject myself to people not liking game, to people not liking me, and then saying, I want to work on game, I want to work on this, and having this as a resource. Like when I first got into this, I just wanted to get rid of the pain. I was like, I hurt. Like people hurt me. Like my girlfriend, like my ex hurt me, right? I wanted to get rid of that pain. Sam was saying he lined up all these pills. He wanted to take his pills and like kill himself. It's like just to get rid of the pain. But now you actually have a resource. Eventually in time, it turns into this crazy thing where you can improve yourself. Eventually in time, it turns into this crazy thing where like you never feel stuck in a relationship with somebody you don't want to be with because you don't know if you could leave. You don't know how you get a new girlfriend. Like it becomes this resource. And eventually for me, it became like a financial resource too, right? Now I'm teaching it, so it's very cool. So if you have people in your life you want to introduce them to this, Start with those couple of videos I mentioned, right? Truth About Success. Talk to them about, show them the Madness Prime videos, show them the social conditioning videos, right? This stuff doesn't just apply to girls, or sorry, just to guys, it also applies to girls as well. Show them that stuff. Also, be considerate that they might not have they might not be in a place in their life where they're ready to pay attention to this stuff. That's totally fine. But at least you're getting in the habit of not having people judge you. Right? You're not getting in the habit of not having people judge you, or if they do, you're still willing to face that, okay? So that's 3 things or 4. And the last thing to answer your question, sir, and then I'll take some more questions in a bit. You're like, damn, Madison really goes deep. The last question, last thing I'll say to your question is, pickup also has, or learning RSD stuff has an aspect of spirituality in it. There is an aspect of spirituality in it. It's like, as I mentioned before, myself, it was, what am I doing here? I want to share something with the world, okay? And I don't mean spirituality like, I don't mean spirituality like that. Like, I came in like, that was so, my old man bones like cracking. I'm gonna feel that tomorrow. So I don't mean spirituality like that, right? I mean spirituality like you're just, something that helps your soul, something that nourishes you on a very, very deep level, knowing what you want at a deep level. As guys, we usually don't ask ourselves these questions like, what's the impact I want to have on this fucking earth when I'm dead? What's the impact I want to have on society when I'm dead? How do I want to like be able to take care of my mother or my father like when they're old and need to retire? If my mom, you guys are in the US, I know Medicare is healthcare is really expensive here. In Canada, we have a lot of stuff for free, but if your parents get sick, like what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, do you have money saved up for that shit? Like if somebody gets like leukemia or something, like how are you going to handle that, right? Like thinking about all these things and waking up every single day and putting that into perspective. When I used to actually learn game, this is going to sound really fucking creepy, but I'll tell you guys anyways, because I told you guys everything already. I've already done the helicopter dick thing, so I mean, this all can't go lower than that. It's like that's the lowest I can go. So when I first started learning game, I used to go to a cemetery and meditate. Every single day for about 30 to 90, I think it was about 60 to 90 days, I would go to a cemetery and I'd meditate, like in there, because I wanted to be around people like that had run out of time, and I wanted to like learn the value of time. I would just sit there and just meditate, like, okay, I've got some bullshit going on at work. Is it important? Well, this guy's dead. Guess not. It's like, well, I'm worried about, I really want to go buy these, like we used to have a jacket called Canada Goose, which is like a $700 jacket in Canada. I want to go buy this Canada Goose jacket, but because everybody has it, and it looks cool, but I have this old like Jack and Jones one that's red. Should I buy it? Well, this guy's dead. His jacket doesn't matter, right? It puts everything into perspective when you're like in a cemetery. Also, if you're like hanging out with older people, I hang out with a lot of old dudes, like I think in Montreal or like Toronto, actually mostly Montreal, half my social circle is like over 70. Does that seem funny to you guys? I was like, oh, that's weird. Like half my social circle, guys I hang out with like on a regular basis, are like 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old. Because there's something you get from like hanging out with a really, really old dude you can't get like anywhere else. It's just like these old guys have like this really like somber way of like kind of just like walking through life. They've seen it all. They've done it all. They don't really care about it. Bullshit. It's like, everything's just very simple. It's very, very simple. And if you don't have any old 70-year-old men that you want to hang out with, I actually just got a flashback. You guys ever see Family Guy? Where it's like that dude wants to hang out with Chris. He's like, young boys. I just thought about that. You looking mighty fine, boy. So, not those kind of old men. No. So if you want to hang out, if you can't hang out with older dudes, you could always do this thing Tony Robbins used to talk about. Tony Robbins talks about something called the rocking chair test, where you kind of just sit there for a couple minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes a day, and just kind of imagine in this chair, like imagine like you're 90 years old and you're looking at everything you did this year. Like, are you happy with the things that you did this year? Like, do you appreciate them? Do they change your life? Does it make your life better? Does it make your life worse? You know, like, well, I went home with that girl who was a 7 for the club and I fucked her with no condom. Probably didn't help my life. Probably there was a lot of risk there, right? Probably a lot of risk. Well, I spent some time and I volunteered in the soup kitchen, which I really didn't meet any hot girls there, but I felt like I appreciated people a little bit more. I understand people more. Oh, that probably like made an impact in your life, right? Every single decision you make, whether you realize it or not, is like shaping out like your destiny. And every little decision you make, whether you realize it or not, is like shaping out who you're going to be as a dude as you get older and who you're going to become, right? Everything I did took an impact. Like I had no idea that pickup would put me on the stage in like 6 or 7 years. No idea. Furthest thing from my mind. Furthest thing, right? But because of all the crazy shit I did, like the cemetery, hanging out with old dudes, yada, yada, yada. It's like now I can be on the stage and I can talk about these things like this because I wasn't just like, what does it all mean? Right? I had like an outcome. I had like a goal to it, right? So I put it in perspective. So even for you guys right here, right now, why are you here? Why are you really here? Like, why are you here? Like for your immediate satisfactions and like maybe you want to just get a girl, have a good time, like stop the pain, stop the bleeding, right? Stop that. But it's like, what do you want to do with this after? What is your ultimate goal? Like there's a guy here, I think earlier, Sam was talking to him and Sam said, he's like, I want to go out Tuesdays at 3 p.m. It's like, okay, what is your plan? What is your outcome? What is your goal? Where are you going with this? What do you want to do with this, right? And that takes time. It takes time to get there. It takes time to figure out what it's going to be. But once you do, you get to know, like, once you figure out what it is that you want, make everything shoot in that direction. Focus your attention. You can't be a master of everything. You can only be a master of some things, all right? I think a mistake a lot of people have is they want to, like, excel in a lot of areas. I think Ty Lopez says this a lot. You can be a master of like 2 or 3 things at a time, like Eulerian destiny. Also, you can only you call it, if you guys study the law of attraction, they call it your chief primary aim. You can only have 1 or 2 chief primary aims at a time. So the point of that little rant there was there is a spiritual aspect to all of this where you figure out what you want to do and who you want to become. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Those are like the 4 or 5 things that I think can develop from you, even if you're doing pickup, but outside of pickup, how does this enhance your life? Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody. Austin, first time in Texas. Yeah, round of applause. Sweet. Thank you very much, everybody. And go out tonight. Go out tonight and kill it, okay? Rock it. Thanks, guys.
So I think there's no better analogy that relates to pickup or self-development as to working out. And working out is the ultimate analogy. Picture, what is working out? Working out is literally destroying your muscles, breaking you down in order to build you up and make you stronger. You're going to the gym, you're lifting weights you can't even imagine that you can lift, and you're breaking your muscle fibers down in order that you can handle the new task. Initially, your body isn't even ready to handle that task, but through constant exposure to the stress, you get better. What is learning pickup? Constant exposure to stress, intentional stress, so you can get better. Now, I used to read about working out a lot. I used to be into fitness, physical fitness a lot. And one of the things they talk about is that you have to have intention while you do it, right? So you can work out, you can just go through the gym, just go through it, blast through reps. Like, yeah, that's cool. You'll see some progress. But if you have intention as you're doing it and you're focusing and you're thinking about every single muscle fiber when you're doing it, right? Your focus, your intention, your concentration is there. You see improvement faster because you are calculating your action. Right? So imagine you just go out, hit the club. You can do that and you will see results. But if you're saying, okay, tonight I want to work on this kind of set. Tonight I want to work on mixed sets. Tonight I want to work on tables. Tonight I want to work on being able to talk and tell stories to everybody, right? You're planning your success. It's like that analogy. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's that. Essentially, you want to plan your success and monitor and measure every single thing you do. When you go to the gym, at first, you might be able to only start with 25-pound dumbbells. Then you say, okay, next week, I want to do 27. Then maybe 27 again the week after that. Then I'm going to do 30 the week after that, right? You plan it. You're monitoring and charting your success, charting your growth pattern. So that's what you want to do with any kind of area of life, right? I've noticed this area in finance. Maybe you can't start like doing, maybe you can't start monitoring all your finances at once. Maybe you want to start something small. The app called Expenses or the app called Mint, right? You want to start something small. When it comes to public speaking, you can't do it all at once. You start with 10 minutes and 20 minutes and 30 minutes, etc., right? Maybe take a class on it. Anything you want to do in life, you can learn through game. Game is the ultimate martial art of self-discipline and the ultimate martial art of self-knowledge.
What it all really comes down to, as a matter of fact, is I think life choices, okay? So before we wrap it up here, before I'm long gone, about to head out to the airport, as a matter of fact, before Daddy Madison leaves you, I'm gonna leave you with this.
life choices. Think about it. Now, right now I'm in the process or ending that process of becoming an RSD instructor, doing my 30-city world tours. I'm going to do Spain. I'm going to do South America twice, actually. Do Europe twice, Canada 3 times, and I think maybe I'll touch down to USA for a bit. Now, the funny thing is, I never imagined that. I never thought that that would happen. When I first got into pickup or got into self-development, I was just like, yo, I just want to like not be lonely. I just want to not suck in life. I didn't think that would happen, right? But what happened is I pursued one thing, I mastered one area, and it kind of opened other doors to my life, other doors in my life of possibilities of things that could happen. So what I really want to think about is, you know, what are the things that I'm doing right now? What are the skills that I'm mastering? What are the things that I'm focusing on that I don't even know will open up opportunities? What are the opportunities that aren't even available to me in my mind yet that will soon one day be released, right? Things go wrong in life a lot when you have unseen occurrences, right? The best laid plans can be laid to rest because of random stuff that happens, unseen occurrences, fumbles your plans. But what are the things that you're doing intentionally that will open up new opportunities that you can't even imagine? The places you're gonna go, the people you're gonna meet, the things you're gonna see, the things you're gonna eat. You can't even imagine it right now, but it's out there waiting for you. It's out there waiting to be discovered. So the thought is this, you know, I didn't think this would happen. I didn't plan on this happening. I really just developed the skill to enhance myself. And then, you know, the way I became an instructor was I was enjoying life, right? I had the amazing women that I was dating, the ones that like really resonated with me, the ones that made me happy, the ones that I made them happy, the ones that it was an independent relationship. We were both independent people, but we were able to collaborate and work together. I had the adventures with friends, the cool guys that I met, you know, maybe through Summit or whatever. I had the social networking at the events I was throwing, the dinner parties with 25, 30 people, all that kind of stuff. I had the exciting things I loved enjoying to do, but I didn't intend on that happening. I didn't intend on it. So I did focus on those outcomes, and then the instructor thing kind of came later on as a byproduct of that, right? So what I want you to do is this. Think of game. This is the homework, right? Your homework for today. Class is now in session, of course. Think of what are the byproducts of game or pickup or self-development that you would like in your life. Game is not the end of everything. Game is just the means to have that self-development, to be the person that you want to be. So it's like, yes, I learned this skill, I learned a technique, but really you're trying to become an emotionally healthy human being underneath, which is then able to work in the self-development and lead your life into the area that you want it to be led in, or the direction that you want it to go in, as I always do say. So think about it. What are the effects that you want? What are not even the outcomes, like the objectives? Like, I want to achieve this. I want to be that. I want to be more happy. It's like, what are the outcomes or the objectives after that? Okay? How does it relate? What is it gonna bring you? So the list is, think of a skill. Okay? It's gonna be a past experience and a new experience. The homework is, think of a skill. One skill that you've worked on in your life that you didn't think would enhance your life the way it did. Could have been video editing. Maybe you were editing videos and it ended up going to a situation where you met some cool people and you end up maybe traveling with them, right? It could have been even chess. Maybe you did chess because it was your grandfather made you play. You thought, this is silly. I don't want to learn how to play chess. So what am I going to do with this? And all of a sudden you're like in a chess match, and then maybe you're in a different situation. What's another one? I used to do gambling. Actually, was not a professional poker player, but I worked for a professional company that did casinos and gambling. So I just practiced, I just did it because I had to learn how poker worked. But I won a few cash tournaments at that. I'm not the best, but it eventually made me go to these situations where I would be able to take these girls on these cool experiences, right? What's another experience that I thought that might have impacted me? I don't know. There's going to be tons of them, right? There's going to be tons of them. And I just want you to find one. Find one skill that you worked on and write down how it impacted your life, how it changed your life in the direction it took you to the new things you discovered you didn't even know existed. And the second thing is, I want you to ask yourself, what do you really want from pickup? What do you really want? Why are you really doing this? What's the real reason? You might say, I want to have lots of women. Why? Why do you want to have lots of women? Is there a validation link to it? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to heal your inner wounded child, as we always joke about? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be at ease? Do you want to just turn off the hum in your mind, the constant background hum? Do you want to feel like you're enough? Do you want to feel like you're worth it? What is the real goal with this? The real goal. Because what you'll find is that the pickup won't even get you that. You'll be back at the end of the line. You have to figure out how to get those things. Anyways, you'll have the woman, you'll have the success if you're mad about a mad scientist. And eventually you'll figure out, how do I get the emotion that I want? The emotion will always come after, right? That's a wrong way to do it. The better way is kind of like that law of attraction bullshit. Law of attraction bullshit, where you say that your inner world creates your outer world. So I'd rather have you focus on what is the feeling that you want to achieve by doing pickup. Okay, think about that. What is the feeling you want to achieve by doing pickup? Try to achieve that feeling anyways inside of yourself and just enjoy the process of the pickup, all right? So that's a good rant to end it off with. That's it for now. Subscribe to this video. I always ask you to subscribe because if you like these videos, they take a lot of fucking work to do. And if you don't subscribe, I don't know you like them. I'm just gonna stop doing them and sit in my mom's face. Not really, I have better things to do, but I'm more ambitious than that. But you get the idea. Please subscribe, I appreciate it. I will, it keeps our relationship going. And last but not least, write your homework in the comment section down below. Do that, all right? I actually check them, I respond to them. If you put the effort to write a decent comment of homework, a decent effort in the homework, I respond to it, I will read it, okay? And that's it for now. Like this video, share it, keep in touch, and don't be a stranger. Cheers. This is Madison with Real Social Dynamics, and I want to make a special announcement. Now, if you're watching this video, it's possible you're just not completely satisfied with your dating life. Either you're always friend zoned, or you run out of things to say. It's also possible that you just don't know exactly how to get physical. So there is a problem, but maybe you don't even know what the challenge is. You just know that you're depressed, up at night, worrying. Something's not right here, right? With your friends, with your social life, personal work, strangers. You probably feel like you're stuck being a failure forever. Do you wish there was something that you could do to make an immediate change? I'm proud to tell you that that was the past and this is the now, the start of your new journey. Introducing the Madison Bootcamp, your key to social success, sex worthiness, and general just confidence with women. I'm gonna be your coach and I'm gonna be your mentor, face to face, taking you out in bars, lounges, and clubs in your city. I spent the last 10 years working through every single sticking point that you have ever had with women, all right? I've taught everybody from CEOs to college students, and I've also toured with every single RSD instructor, especially Tyler. This is gonna be the most satisfying program of your life. You're gonna leave more confident, more alpha, more sexy, and more charismatic. This is gonna be the start of a new you. I'm gonna transform you into the man that you always wanted to be and put you on that journey and a roadmap to success. Don't argue with me. What's the #1 rule of boot camp? Yep, girl. There's girls all around you, you're skipping by them. 5 push-ups. I'm gonna bring you over to headlock, it's gonna be even worse. Do you want me to bring you over to headlock? Hi, sorry, excuse me. Hi, sorry, excuse me. This is my friend. He was shy to talk to you. So I told him I'm gonna put him in a headlock and bring him over to say hello. So here he is. Hi. If you promise to commit to change, I will promise you results. You went back to being funny again, right? Didn't work. The hand things. You gotta be more assertive. Improvement?
Yeah, a lot.
Forward progress.
That was huge.
Huge moment, yeah. Imagine yourself being socially free. Imagine yourself getting the hottest girl in the club. Imagine yourself breaking through all of your fears. Imagine yourself having new emotional epiphanies.
More like scratch me and pull my fucking hair.
I bet you.
Make my asshole this big.
Oh, gee, that was interesting.
Thank you, thank you.
And you can see the shift immediately. Yeah, that was eye-opening to see.
You're gonna be able to approach women with confidence and effortlessly, and you're gonna be able to seduce women in ways that most guys wouldn't even dream of. The Madison Bootcamp, 3 days to your manhood.